Jerry's latest comments on Ceedee.
I think it's quite pathetic, to be quite honest with you. I mean, when you look at his situation, first of all, Jerry is the first to tell us that tomorrow isn't guaranteed, particularly for him at this stage in his life. These are his words, not ours, number one. Number two, we know what Ceedee Lamb is worth. He's a top 3 receiver in the National Football League. You may have questions about your quarterback. You may have had questions in the past about your running back. You may have had questions about a few things. You don't have any questions about him. Then you got to take into account what you have available in the event that you don't have him. You got Brandon Cooks and a bunch of dudes named Jalen. Okay, about 3 dudes named Jalen on the squad. I don't even remember their last name. Tolbert is one of them. Okay, I forgot the others. All right. The bottom line is this: when you look at that, okay, and then you take into account Ceedee Lamb, his agent is the same agent as A.J. Brown. Last time I checked, A.J. Brown just got about $32 million per. And so if you're Ceedee Lamb, what do you think you're worth? You got to look at it from that standpoint. The fact that this is a challenge that Jerry Jones is doing is you're going to end up giving the money. So why procrastinate? Why wait? Why not have his brother in camp? It doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. And don't tell me, well, you know what? Hey, he's going to be safe, because guess what? If you don't want him to play till the regular season, you still could sign him and tell him just work out in the gym, don't play till the regular season. There's ways to work around it. Jerry is just being unnecessarily rigid, and I think those are the kind of things that compromise morale when you least expect it. And I think that's definitely the potential with the Dallas Cowboys.
Shay?
We know how Jerry is. Jerry tried to draw a line in the sand. You remember in '93, Stephen A., when he drew the line in the sand against Emmett, and they went 0-2, and then he gave Emmett his money? For Jerry to say, well, I'm glad he's not out here risking it, well, why even have training camp? Everybody's out there risking it. That's what you do. Football is an inherently dangerous game. Guys get hurt. Big guys running the bigger guys at a high rate of speed. So for Jerry to try to downplay, oh, we don't need Ceedee out here risking it. Really? And you expect people to believe that? No, that's not the case. You think that everybody wants to play for the Cowboys. You think everybody's going to give you a hometown discount. But guys are seeing hometown discount. I'm not giving you no hometown discount, because guess what? We saw what you did to Dez Bryant. We saw what you did to Ezekiel Elliott. We saw what you did to some of the other guys that have gotten big contracts. So the moment there's a little slippage, you want to move in another direction. So I'm going to get all the money I can. You said players play. Management, they do management things. So I'm going to let you and your son worry about the cap. I don't give a damn about your cap. The only cap I care about is the cap that's on my head, that's going to have dollar signs, because I'm about to get a bunch of it out of you, Jerry Jones. If I'm Ceedee Lamb, I'm towing the line. I'm not giving you no discount. I want a boatload of money up front. You're not going to backload it and push it until later year, kick the can down the road. I want my money. And I see what Justin Jefferson got, and I'm not trying to no. Normally what happens, and you could attest to this, when the receivers are comparable, and you might say Justin Jefferson had the best 3 years of any receiver in NFL history, but Ceedee Lamb doesn't get to have to take a back seat. Led the league in catches. He was tied for touchdowns. I think he was second in yards behind Tyreek. I want a boatload. If Justin Jefferson got $35 million, I want $35 million, $1.
Here we go again. Jerry Jones playing with fire, gambling with the future of the Cowboys by toying with one of the most critical pieces on the roster. Ceedee Lamb isn't just any receiver, he's a top 3 in the league, a cornerstone for Dallas. Yet, Jerry continues this unnecessary game of stubbornness, dragging his feet on a deal that everyone knows is inevitable. Why? Is he trying to prove a point? Or just repeating history by alienating his own stars? This is the same man who let Emmitt Smith sit out only to watch the Cowboys crumble to 0-2 before giving in. Jerry, this hardline approach will backfire. Just like with Dez Bryant. Just like with Ezekiel Elliott. If you think Ceedee Lamb is going to accept less, think again. He knows his worth. And he's coming for his money, no discounts, no compromises. The longer Jerry drags this out, the more he risks morale and cohesion in a team that can't afford it. This is a ticking time bomb, and the Cowboys are playing with the fuse lit.
All right, let's go out to Dallas, where the Cowboys still without their star receiver, Ceedee Lamb. He's holding out for that contract extension. But prior to Saturday's preseason game with the Raiders, Jerry Jones had this to say regarding the status of his #1 wideout.
We're having the same kind of talks we've been having. Not worried about a target date, not worried about his shape. Glad he's not out here risking some injury.
Okay, that's Jerry for you. Glad he's not out here in the preseason. Jeff Darlington, give us a timeline on where are we with this Ceedee Lamb Cowboy thing?
Well, we certainly we understand in some sense what Jerry Jones is saying there. There's no reason to risk injury, but he also isn't in camp at all right now. And quite frankly, the season is creeping us up on September 8th being that date. So look, this could go down any day now. It really could. The problem with it, I say that on one hand. On the other hand, it really doesn't feel like they've gotten to a point where they know the annual salary, where they know the contract length, where they know the structure of the contract when it comes to guaranteed money. So yes, it can all come together very quickly, but we don't really have any of those things feeling like there is any reason to think it is imminent. So the best I can tell you is that behind the scenes, the Cowboys remain optimistic, but until they get much closer to that number, that contract that Justin Jefferson has at $35 million a year, and maybe it doesn't have to be all the way there, we're not there yet. We still have 3 wide receivers, by the way, in Brandon Ayuk, Chase, who am I talking about with the Bengals?
Jamar Chase.
Who's dealing with
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase,
sorry.
yes.
And Jamar Chase and Ceedee Lamb. So we've still got 3 wide receivers who are chasing those deals that the precedent was set with Justin Jefferson, and we're still not there with any of those 3.
Two-tier question for you, Hawk. I'm happy we got you here because as a receiver, you heard Jerry say, hey, I'm happy he's not here playing in the preseason. In other words, he's not out here maybe getting hurt. But because he hasn't gotten, let's say, into football shape, how long is that going to take for him to get ramped up? Because you fear if he comes back and then they tweak something, you're like, oh my God, had he been in camp?
Every football player knows the only way to get in shape for football is by playing football. So he can be doing all the working out he wants to in the offseason until he's with his team, until he's going through those reps in a consistent basis and feels the rigors of what the season is going to feel like. His body is not going to truly be in shape, and he's going to risk some soft tissue injuries or, worst case, even beyond. I think also for this offense, he is the most important part of the way that McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys run their offense. It goes through him. And so you're actually not allowing the rest of the players on your offense to truly get their rhythm because you don't have that number 1 X receiver who is based in precision and the dink and dunk and take the shots, who literally gets moved around the entirety of the thing for it to go.
Let me be blunt, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are playing a dangerous game with Ceedee Lamb. Jerry's nonchalant attitude about Lamb missing camp is nothing short of reckless. Football isn't a game you can just switch on. It's brutal, physical warfare where every rep counts. Lamb, the centerpiece of the Dallas offense, is sitting out, not in football shape, and the clock is ticking fast towards the season opener. The risk of injury or underperformance skyrockets if this contract dispute drags on. Jerry Jones may be optimistic, but optimism doesn't win championships, preparation does. Without Lamb fully integrated into this offense, any talk of the Cowboys being Super Bowl contenders is wishful thinking. This situation is a powder keg, and unless Dallas resolves it, their season could be derailed before it even begins.
What do you make of the Ceedee Lamb post? How big a deal?
Man, this is a big deal, man. This is the best player on your offense, gives you a lot of value on your offense. You don't have any other good receivers behind him to go out there and make plays for Dak Prescott. I hear Jerry Jones come out and say this crazy stuff, man. There ain't no rush to get this thing done. When you trying to get it done, Jerry?
Running out of time.
Like for real, like this don't even, make this make sense. It don't even make no sense with what Jerry's talking about. I understand Brandon Ayuk is not under contract yet, but do you hear the Niners saying any of this funny stuff? No, you're trying to work with a dude to get a contract done. This is one of the better players on your offense that you cannot go where you are trying to go without Ceedee Lamb. And let's just start with winning a playoff game or getting to an NFC championship. You're not going to get there without Ceedee Lamb, and you playing with this dude and you really taking it like it's a game. And then this dude, whenever he gets in there, week 1, week 2, week 3, a week from now, he ain't ready to play no football, which means he's going to be set back a week or 2. Can you afford to have a slow start and still make the playoffs? You can't. You haven't paid Dak Prescott. You haven't paid Ceedee Lamb. This is crazy to me. I don't know what Jerry Jones is doing. It's really making no sense. And then you come out to the media and you acting like it ain't no urgency to get this done. The man ain't there. The football season, I don't know if you know, Jerry Jones, is 2 weeks away. You open up with a big-time defense in the Cleveland Browns that ain't playing no games with Myles Garrett and them boys. Who you throwing to? And even if he is there, he got to get in football shape. You're not even throwing to him. You putting your quarterback in a bad situation and your head coach in a bad situation who's calling the plays. This makes no sense to me, man. It's frustrating. And I ain't even Ceedee Lamb. I ain't even getting none of Ceedee Lamb money, but it's frustrating when you do what Ceedee Lamb has done, an all-pro receiver, better numbers than Justin Jefferson in certain areas, and I'm sitting over here fighting for my money, and you over here playing with my money saying crazy comments like that. It's ridiculous,
Ceedee,
man.
you notably have said in your heyday as a 2-time first-team All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, you notably said you never were in this situation.
No.
They always ran you your money ahead of time, whether it's the Eagles, the Buffalo Bills, etc.
This is pure insanity. Jerry Jones is playing with fire, and it's about to burn the entire Cowboys season to the ground. How can you be so nonchalant about your star receiver, Ceedee Lamb, not being ready 2 weeks before the season opener? This isn't just reckless, it's downright irresponsible. The Cowboys are staring down the barrel of a brutal defense in the Cleveland Browns, and yet Jerry's acting like there's no urgency. Are you kidding me? No Lamb, no offense, period. This isn't just a contract dispute, it's a potential disaster. If Lamb isn't in game shape, Dallas risks a slow start that could crush their playoff hopes before they even begin. This is more than just frustrating, it's complete madness. Jerry is playing games with the future of this franchise, and the clock is ticking.